Sit. Good. I always have her sit first before I put her in the crate, and it's great practice because she's got to stay seated while I open the door. And then no, see, she loves to go in her crate. She loves her crate, as you know. But now she has to wait for our permission to go in. No. So she may want to rush in there. Now, I'm doing this out in the yard because it's a big open space. It's much easier to film here than inside the house. Why don't you wait inside there until I'm done? Just wait there. And this is kind of on a little slope, so the door is closing by itself. So I'm going to try to wing this. But she needs to wait. This is what makes it beneficial. She has to really wait for your permission to go into her den, and she does perceive the crate as her den now. So if you got to hold the door open for some reason, I normally would pat her chest with my right hand, but this time I'm going to do it with my left. Go. Let her go in. She goes in here. I do it the same way every time. You got some little treats here for her that I give her. She goes in there. She turns around and faces me. She gets her little reward. I take off her collars in the crate. She's calm. She just stands there and lets me do it. Most dogs, when you're taking off or putting on their collars and their leashes, they're struggling, they're excited, whether they've just come home or whether they're about to leave, and it's just this big episode where they collapse and they're wiggling and they're, it's just bad form. It's bad. It's a disrespect to you because they're supposed to be calm and allowing you to do whatever you want with them. So if you do it inside her crate for a while, she'll get used to being calm, standing there, and you put it on when you take it off, and then later on, she'll be so used to doing that for so long like that, later on, outside the crate, she'll be the same way. So that's why I always put on and take off her stuff when she's in the crate. And then with the prong collar, this little tiny prong collar we use, I always hang it right here on the door because that way it's ready to go when you need it. It doesn't get all tangled up if it's hanging down like that. And you can put the choke chain and the leash wherever you want. But I'm gonna, and by the way, she sleeps overnight at my house. She's been sleeping overnight every night in the crate. We put her outside one last time right before it's bedtime, and then first thing in the morning she goes out. And she's been doing really well. She loves her crate. As you can see, she runs right in. The crate, all the good stuff happens in there. Bones, chewies. If you're going to feed her out of a bowl after training, in there, everything good happens in there. That way you can manage her really easily. Let's say you're having visitors come over. Maybe you're having stressful people come over, or more than one, or it's going to be loud, noisy, and maybe she can't handle that, because I know she can't handle some strangers. Maybe she could be in the back bedroom with her favorite bones and chewies, and you keep her in there for a few hours till people leave. Sometimes that's better to do it that way. That way you can focus on your guests. You don't have to watch her and do training while they're there, because that's a situation that might stress her out, like if you had a party or something like that. Or maybe there's people that don't like dogs coming over. So the crate is a great way to manage your situation. And that's why we train the dog to love their crate like this. Also, it's a tool for training because, as you can see, it's a way to practice her sit-stay. She's got to sit and wait until you allow her in. When you open this door, she's trained to wait at the boundary and not come bursting out and knock you over. She needs to wait in there until you allow her out. So when I'm taking her out, the way I do it, since I always use a choke chain to double up, so I'm attaching the choke chain and the prong collar to the leash, so that if the prong collar ever comes off, then the choke chain that's hanging loose will come into play and you don't lose the dog. So we always double up with both collars being attached to the leash. But this is never for training. Choke chain would be very dangerous. All the pressure's right there on the neck, so to train with a choke chain consistently would eventually cause her problems. So we don't do that. It's only for safety. So if I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna open up the crate door. Now if she ever tries to come out, you can just do a little token slam. No, like that. She knows what that means. She'll back off. But if she waits when you open it, good. Give her a reward. And then you can just put this choke chain on first. That's what I do. Slip it over her head. And that's on. And then you can attach the leash to this prong collar before you even put the prong collar on. Make sure you attach the leash to the funny looking weird shaped buckle there. This perfectly round little ring here is just a spacer, so you don't want to use that. Make sure that the chain's not tangled up, that it's loose, so you can do this. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then you're literally going to go in like this and just hook it around her neck and attach it. And if you just sit around for like a half an hour or so, you can figure this out and just mindlessly take it off and put it on. You'll get it. So you'll be able to do it without even looking, like I can do it. So I'm just reaching in there. She's super calm in her crate, hooking up the prong collars on, and I'm just going to hook up the choke chain to the leash as well. So everything's hooked up together. See, once you've done it a little bit, it's that fast. She's super calm. She gets one last reward. She's doing really well. Good. When she waits like this and she's calm, reward her. Why not? If she tries to come out before you release her, you say no. Give that a little token slam. She knows what that means and she'll back off. So when you release her out, kind of turn to your left as much as possible and you pat your leg and you say, okay. She'll come out. You want to do a little left turn like this. More left turns in your life, the better. Come back, close the crate door. It's always closed because you control that boundary. It makes you very powerful. Like the mat exercise, doing that with her, controlling the boundary to her den, changes the dog's perception of you, makes her think that you're the boss. And that's what you need. That's one of the things that will stop her from guarding you out in public when a stranger walks up to you or dogs pass by. She's going to think of you as the person that's taking care of her, the boss, and not as a possession to guard. So it's these things that we're doing at home change her perception of you when you're out in public. So that's why they're so important as well. So we close that, and then if I'm going to take her outside, we just go outside. But if I'm going to release her in the house, I'm going to have her sit. And if she doesn't sit, of course, you make sure that she goes there. You reinforce that command. And then go. Now she's off the clock. You don't let her come out of the crate and just run off. Just like the mat. She comes off the mat, she sits, you release her from a calm sit stay. Here, she comes out of the crate, you have her sit, you release her from a calm sit stay. Or else you're going to have her bounding out of the crate and knocking you over eventually. So make sure that you always release her from a calm sit stay first.